A very happy day to all of you and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, which is the fourth in the series on corporate actions, we're going to take a specific look at corporate actions on a fixed income security. I'm your learning partner, Sushila Hariharan, and in this video, we're going to explain about the different roles of the fund administrator when it comes to corporate actions. If you're interested in a career in global markets, specifically with respect to equities, foreign exchange, or fixed income securities, along the dimensions of operations, regulations, and settlements for specific activities, which include fund accounting, OTC derivatives, trade life cycle, and custody operations, I urge you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I keep posting richly researched content on these aspects so that it's beneficial to all the participants who are seeking jobs and careers in the growing IB ops industry. What are bonds? Bonds are fixed income securities. Like in some markets, they're also called as debentures. In some markets, they're called as fixed income securities. In other markets, they're called as bonds. All the three of them refer to the same thing, that is, they are marketable instruments which can be traded in the markets. The different corporate actions with respect to bonds include coupon payments. As you already know, all fixed income securities pay coupons on predetermined dates, and the rate is decided in the indenture, which is the agreement that has been entered into by the issuer and the investor. The second corporate action on bonds is redemption. The third corporate action on bonds is call option. Call option refers to the possibility of the issuer doing an early redemption of the bond. Put option is when the investors seek for an early redemption of the bond. What happens during the trade life cycle of a fixed income security? That is discussed in end of trading. I've already uploaded a video on this, which includes calculation of coupon rate, accrued interest, plus dirty price and settle and clean price discussions. I will share the link of that video on end of trading in the comment section below so that it's easy to judge and learn both these concepts very easily. And the last corporate action on bonds is conversion. This is the aspect that we are going to discuss in this video. What is conversion, or what are convertible bonds, and what is the role of the fund administrator with respect to the investment holding of a convertible bond? As you already know, bonds are uniquely identified by their CUSIPs. CUSIP standing for a unique security identifier, Committee on Uniform Securities Investment Protocol. This basically refers to the different aspects of identifying a specific security. So for example, if a treasury bond which is traded in the US markets has a CUSIP identified by the numbers 912928 followed by a 3 code, it implies that it is a bond that is issued by the US government. So CUSIPs are unique securities identifiers, and they're used to identify the different bonds that are traded in the securities market. They're typically in ranged between any digits between 9 and from 9 onwards. Okay, so it's a 9-digit identifier. And if it starts with 91292, then you know it's from the treasury security. CUSIPs are generally used for settlements. What is a convertible bond? A convertible bond is a bond that is issued by the issuer, which can be converted into equity. Okay, so the most of the times bonds are issued which can be redeemed on maturity. That is, on maturity, the issuer will pay back the investor the amount of the principal. But in a convertible bond, the bonds can be converted into equity. Okay, so unless the indenture mentions that the bond is a convertible bond, there is no way that we can change the terms and conditions of the bond in the middle of the maturity or during the maturity of the bond. So remember this. Convertible bonds are those bonds that can be converted into equity. Now this brings us to the concept of so many important aspects that revolve around this conversion aspect. First question that comes to the mind is, when will it get converted into equity? Sometimes it can get converted into equity on the redemption date. Typically on redemption date, the issuer repays back the investor the principal amount of the bond, the par value of the bond. That's what happens in a regular bond, or that's what happens in a non-convertible bond. But in a convertible bond, the investor can convert the bond into equity. Sometimes this can happen even on conversion dates. Okay, conversion dates are dates before the redemption date. Okay, maybe 2 dates would be given, maybe 3 dates would be given, during which, during the maturity of the bond, on which the bonds can get converted into equity. So this is the first most important aspect of the bond. That is, when does it get converted? Okay. All this is mentioned in the indenture. The indenture is a comprehensive uh, document. It's an agreement that is entered into between the issuer and the investor. And the investor seeks to read the clauses of the indenture to understand what are the various features of the convertible bond. Now that we've understood what is the convertible bond, we've understood what is the date. The next question that comes to our mind is, what would be the ratio in which the bond is going to get converted into equity? This is called as the conversion ratio. The conversion ratio is the ratio in which the bond gets converted into equity. This conversion ratio is mentioned in the indenture. Okay, so everything about a bond is mentioned in the indenture and it is predetermined. Let's say the conversion ratio is 40:1. Now remember, I've already uploaded many videos on corporate actions with respect to rights entitlement, with respect to dividend announcements, bonuses, stock splits, etc. The how do we interpret the corporate action ratio differs from instrument to instrument. In this case, if the conversion ratio is 40:1, it means that that for every one bond that the investor is holding, they can convert it into 40 shares. Okay, so the latter number is the holding number, the former number is the entitlement number. This is exactly how it works in the case of rights as well. So conversion ratio is 40:1. This implies that the investor is holding one bond and the one bond can get converted into 40 shares. Then, so we now understood what is the dates on which it can get converted. We now understand the conversion ratio. But the data that is there is still not sufficient because we don't know what is the par value of the bond. So let's now explore what is the next step that we have to understand. The next step is the conversion price. Let's say that the conversion ratio is 40:1 and the par value of the bond is $1,000. I now derive the conversion price. How do I derive the conversion price? I derive the conversion price by dividing the par value with the number of shares that I get as entitlement. So $1,000 divided by 40 gives me $25. This is the conversion price. So till now, we have got all the three parameters which are needed. We are building the story, we are building the case where we try to understand should the investor exercise the conversion option or not. That is still insufficient because if my bond is getting converted into equity and the equivalent value of that equity is $25, the next thing I want to know is what is the price at which the stock is trading in the stock markets. For that, we need to explore what is the market price. So let's start with the conversion price and then compare it with the market price. If the conversion price is lesser than the market price, the conversion has got a value associated to it. And this is called as the conversion value. So the conversion price is less than the market price. The investor will exercise the convertibility option. If the conversion price is greater than the market price, the investor will not exercise the convertibility option. Make sense? Okay. So now let's continue with our own story till now. The conversion price we've already defined as 25. We've already derived as $25. Hari hedge fund who owns 10,000 convertible bonds. The par value is $1,000. The conversion ratio is 40:1. The market price of the stock is $30. Should the hedge fund exercise the conversion option or not? Okay, this is a very important question that could come up even in your interviews. All right, what would they do? Should they exercise the conversion option or should they not exercise the conversion option? Okay, for this we have to analyze three different aspects. The conversion ratio is 40:1. The market price of the stock is $30. The conversion price is $25. That means if the investor converts it into equity, the equivalent value is $25. He will convert it and then he can sell it in the market at $30, right? So the conversion value is positive. If on the other hand, the market price was only $20, then the investor might allow the convertibility option to lapse and not exercise it at all. Okay, so conversion value is very important to be understood before we can decide whether to exercise the convertibility option. That means comparing the market price with the conversion price. So if the market price is higher than the conversion price, the investor will exercise. If the market price is lower than the conversion price, they may choose to allow the convertibility option to lapse. If you like the content on my YouTube channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Do ask me questions. Most of my videos are made because of questions asked by many of y'all directly on LinkedIn or on YouTube. And I request you to keep posting those questions because it makes tremendous sense for me to create content that is relevant to you. Thank you so much for watching and take care.